Caleb, you've got the Herald Sun, and of course the big story there is the state budget.
Indeed. I was going to say it's a bad day to be a Victorian, but, you know, that's almost every day. Apologies to my Victorian friends. I did once live there, but I fled the place. The Herald Sun tomorrow, 2024 State Budget Special Edition. Debt again soaring to $188 billion, $26 million daily interest bill, election promises broken, hits to new hospitals, sick pay, mental health, free pre-prep, an airport rail link, but staggering spend on suburban rail loop going ahead. That thing is worth $216 billion, by the way. Dire debt loop is the headline. I mean, $188 billion worth of debt. That's $67,000 for every household. You've had broken promises. They've cut back on so much spending. They've instituted all these debt recovery measures, blaming it on COVID. They're jacking up your land taxes down in Victoria. On and on and on it goes. They've added $47 million worth of debt every day since May last year. The state of Victoria is dead set broke.
But of course, Caleb, it's not their fault. See, they were the only state in Australia, in fact the world, that had to deal with COVID. Have listened to the Premier, Jacinta Allen.
Do you feel any sense of guilt for the future generations who are going to be paying this off for decades to come?
Well, of course, Tom, as you and your viewers would be absolutely well aware, during that period of time, we worked through together the global pandemic, and during that period
I understand that,
time,
Premier, but just to jump in there,
we used the strength of our balance sheet in order to provide support to Victorian
I understand
families
that, but COVID's not going to be an
and
issue.
this is not something that we can.
For the next 4 years,
Tom,
debt goes up another $70 billion.
And we use the strength of our balance sheet during that period of time. And what we have recognised in this budget is that we have made a range of sensible and disciplined decisions. We have in place a new fiscal strategy.
Yeah, how's the strength of your balance sheet now? By the way, the church bells in the background, I presume that's for a funeral, probably hers.
I was going to say for whom
Hopefully.
the bell tolls, hey?
But I mean, they're so in debt, and yet they've announced a $400 credit for every school child. That'll cost $1 billion. Of course, they don't have that.
No.
So, well, just put it on the credit card. If you're in, $188 billion worth of debt, what's another billion? And that's pretty much the way they've operated.
And how does this not play into inflation? I mean, it's just more and more spending. If you don't like what you're seeing in the Victorian budget, Victorians, just remember that no government can tell you they don't have the money, right? Budgets are just all about priorities. And when they release a budget, they're telling you where their, not your, their priorities lie. We all know it's our cash. It's just not being spent how anyone with... We're not economists. We're not like these genius people, but decisions that are being made on behalf of millions of people simply do not make sense.
But she talks about the strength of the balance sheet. I mean, does she know any accountants? Because I know a few who could take a look at that balance sheet and would, like, you know, their faces would melt reading.
She's so desperately holding on to that talking point as well.
Balance sheet?
She's like,
it's a balance sheet, all right, but the balance is sort of like that.
There's no balance.